What is very special about this organization is that it's really focusing on people, on working with people to appear and speak and communicate in public space.
More Art rocks. I mean, it's actually kind of simple. They help realize a project that other people would not have been crazy enough to take on. It's like if you tell somebody, oh yeah, I want to do a piece where I have firemen blast me with a high-pressure water jet from a fire hose, evoking the civil rights demonstrators. More Art was fantastic to work with, to actually produce a complicated project that required lots of partnerships and research.
For me, the experience of working with More Art was really unique and one of a kind because I felt like I wasn't alone in forging ahead with these public art projects that are very experimental. There's a lot of risk involved and believing in something that it will come out well.
The Beam Ensemble was my first public art piece, and it really was the first time I got to see an idea be engaged with and think about how I want to do things differently. You know, it's always hard to get that first shot. It really shifted my whole perspective on myself.
The fellowship expanded my world in a way that I really needed, but that I also was open to. You're given the opportunity to test something and to have a lot of people give you input and validate that your impulses are important and to really support you from where you are as opposed to where an organization or an institution wants you to go. This has made such a difference for me, and I would love it to make a difference for so many more people.
The kind of work that we produce does not come already packaged perfectly in a shape. It's a lot about the process. Something that I like about More Art is that it functions as an ally, an accomplice, a friend, someone to whom you can propose a crazy idea, and believe me, I have a lot of crazy ideas. And it tells you, yes, let's explore it.
I'm used to working with institutions. To be actually working as I did with More Art, out in the open, everybody's walking by, you're not in a museum, so people are not expecting to have to engage with anything. And so it's really great to see this cross-section, really a cross-section of people coming through, paying attention, maybe not, having quick ideas about what they think they're seeing. It's rewarding but also thought-provoking for me personally. It's a very sobering experience too, in New York City especially, and everybody in New York has an opinion.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Monica Semi, and I have the honor and privilege of being president of More Art Board of Directors. On behalf of the board and staff, I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you at this special event. Tonight is a celebration of 20 years of action, agency, and art. And it's a chance for us to reflect on More Art's extraordinary journey, honor our present achievements, and rally your support for the next 20 years of transformative impact. My journey with More Art began in 2019 when I first discovered this organization 5 years ago. I was deeply moved to join because I resonated with its vision to make art accessible and drive meaningful change in community. And over the past 2 decades, More Art has collaborated with 160 artists, invested over $3 million in the arts, and enriched the lives of hundreds of New Yorkers through over 60 public art and education projects. The impact has been nothing short of remarkable. Tonight, we've got an incredible evening planned. Our founding director and chief curator, Michaela Martigani, will join me on stage to present awards to honorees Dred Scott and Michelle Coffey. Following that, our associate curator, Dylan Gauthier, will present a special accolade to a surprise honoree. And the night will culminate in an invitation for your support as More Art embarks on the next chapter of its incredible journey. Without further ado, let's welcome Michaela Martigani on the stage to celebrate our wonderful honorees, Dred Scott and Michelle Coffey.
Thank you. Thanks, Mona, and thanks to everybody for taking the time and come together and be here tonight to celebrate what for us it's a significant milestone, 20 years of incubating and producing powerful works of public art and social engagement. So now it's my honor to introduce our Nourish the World with More Art Award, quite a mouthful. Our last gala was supposed to be in 2020. And then due to the pandemic, it really never happened. And so the last award we gave out in 2018 to Cecilia Vicuña. And prior awards have gone to artists Marina Abramovic, Hans Hake, John Jonas, Fred Wilson, and Cristóbal Disco. The Nourish the World with More Art Award is intended to uplift an artist, and starting in 2014, also a philanthropist whose commitment to socially engaged art mirrors our own mission, and is dedicated to a long-standing practice that believes that art can indeed shape a better society. This year, we are thrilled to bestow the Nourish the World with More Art Award on Dred Scott, whose project on the impossibility of freedom in a country founded on slavery and genocide that engaged with the legacy of racism in the United States, we presented in 2014. And Michelle Coffey, Executive Director of the Lamben Foundation, who has been an amazing guide, funder, and thought partner for a number of more art projects, allowing us to support artists with confidence and vision, a vision in the arts' power for transformative social change. So we are delighted to have Michelle Coffey and Dred Scott here tonight to celebrate with us, and we celebrate them and their work. And I will ask them to join me on stage in a moment for a discussion on what it means as an artist to put yourself on the line for this type of work and why it is critical. So for those of you who do not know them already, Michelle and Dred are true visionaries in their respective fields, and the work they do is truly a gift to us all. Since they have pretty long resumes, I am going to refer to the programs and keep things short here, and just asking you to join me in giving a very big round of applause to Dred Scott and Michelle Coffey. So now, yes, and now we leave the stage to let our honorees have a conversation.
Is this thing on? Oh, yeah, it is. Well, so she just said these are great shoes, and I'm really glad she noticed because I've wanted these shoes for about 35 years. These are creepers, and I couldn't afford them when I was like 20-year-old punk rock kid, and I can afford them now. So
well, glad you have them. Bravo, 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 bravo. You know, when everyone was walking in, folks were talking about this being a lecture or a talk, and I was like, oh, no, this is just a conversation.
No, I brought a paper.
Oh, okay.
It's just about 20 pages. Most of the words are shorter than 6 syllables, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, we're having a conversation.
We're having a conversation.
And we talked a little bit because we were trying to figure out what should we talk about, and we all both love more art. But one of the things that Michelle did was she talked to a mutual friend of ours and said, well, what should we talk about? Because we didn't have any ideas. People think we're smart, but we're not so smart. We asked smart friends of ours, and Miguel said we should talk about integrity.
Yes.
Which I think that actually makes a lot of sense. And one of the things that, is interesting, I think, about your practice is it's a lot of it's behind the scenes, but it's with a mission and a purpose. And so I'd love for you to talk about how, as a sort of a funder, you've actually managed to shift or channel funding towards projects and organizations that actually matter, that make a difference in the world.
It's a hard conversation to have with you. In all honesty, because I'm very conscious that we have not funded you directly. Lambent has not funded directly. And so in speaking with Miguel, it's like, okay, let's actually have this conversation that you and I have never had and is always behind the scenes, if they're even had. And I think if I were to actually support the artists that I loved, like you, it would be self-serving. And that's not what philanthropy is here to do. Philanthropy is supposed to be generous. It's supposed to be risk-taking. And so one of the things that I'm able to do at Lambent Foundation with the co-director Ann Delaney is actually support full ecosystems and organizations where artists are at the center. And you have been at the center in so many organizations, and you have so many artistic homes. And so for us, we're thinking about practice and institutional practice and how to support those cultural centers that then directly support, nourish, care for, attend to you. And so I just wanted to say it's behind the scenes, but your practice inspires my practice. And I think it's a little odd for a funder to identify a practice, but I want to be considered a cultural producer as well.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, one of the things, and I'm glad that you're inspired by my work, and I'm actually inspired by some of what you do. And it's, I think I got the cities right, but you guys, Lambent focuses on New Orleans, Nairobi, and New York. So the N cities, you only do N cities. That's
correct. Sesame Street. Remember, it was brought to you by the letter N. Full inspiration.
Yeah, but so I know a little bit about New Orleans. Y'all know about New York because we're all in New York. I don't know much about Nairobi, but I do know a little bit about New Orleans because there was this project I did called Slave Rebellion Reenactment, which really I was spending about 7 years working in the city to try and do a community engaged project with 350 reenactors reenacting the largest rebellion of enslaved people in American history. And one of the organizations I worked with was Antenna, which you, I think, now support. Yeah. But there was a whole ecosystem of arts organizations that you fund down there that actually is really important and interesting, and in part because one of the things that one of the people that was part of Antenna at the time that the project started noticed was that so many of the organizations there are both not artist-centered, but they also are funded by oil money. And that actually shapes a lot of what happens in the city. And you're coming in, supporting the smaller and more nimble organizations is really great. Can you talk a little bit about why the cities you work in, but how what Lambent is hoping to do with supporting those kinds of organizations in a city like New Orleans?
Well, the city of New Orleans and that land is so critical. It is our cultural home in this country. It is actually the most northern Caribbean city that has such a complicated land, and yet artists and cultural bearers are infused in that daily fabric. So it's common, it just makes sense for us. And there are very few philanthropic dollars that go below the Mason-Dixon line in the South, so it's intentional around that. But instead of really speaking about the details of the other cities, I actually want to ask you a question because I get to be behind the scenes and you put your body front and center, and you put your spirit and your emotion front and center, and you've been doing this work for over 30 years. And I want to ask you, what inspires you, what the integrity to get up and do this consistently with such generosity and being fierce. How are you able to do this repeatedly?
I can't stand the way the world is, and I don't think it has to be this way. And that's what drives me. I mean, ever since I was young, I was asking questions, and since I was, a late teenager, I started looking at the politics and looking for answers. I mean, it's like, when you're a kid, whether you know it or not, you kind of think like your parents, but then when you be 16, 17, 18, get a little older, you go to college or whatever, you start reading books, and if you find the right books, then you start looking for how the world got to be the way it is. And I, had friends who turned me on to Malcolm X Speaks and Mao's Red Book, and then that started a process of trying to scientifically understand the world, but also really have confidence that ordinary people could be a motive force of history and have been throughout history. So in a certain sense, coming back to the project that More Art supported on the impossibility of freedom in a country founded on slavery and genocide, that piece, I worked into the high-pressure water jet of a fire hose, evoking some of the images of the civil rights movement. But when people looked at those images of dogs being sicked on black people or fire hoses being turned on black people, a lot of times we look at that as like, this is how terrible things used to be. And in a certain sense, that's true. Things were really terrible in the 60s. But the more I looked at those images, I saw the tremendous courage of people standing up to a system that could literally kill them. They were standing up to Jim Crow, and what undergirded Jim Crow was lynching. And so here were people that were walking into fire hoses and changing the world. They were profoundly courageous, and they were mostly young. And so I wanted to say, look, that's the spirit that we need to have, is people that are willing to stand up and do that. And that particular project was done through somewhat accident. There were 250 kids who came from Gotham High School, which was an art school in Bed-Stuy, or an arts-focused school in Bedford-Stuyvesant. And the kids came in part because they don't have access to a lot of art. It's an art school, but they don't get to go to a lot of museums and stuff because it's a relatively poor public school. But this was free, and so they came to it, but they also knew about, they had seen some of my work, and they wanted to come see that. And it was so moving, and the project just coincidentally happened to come a few months after the world learned the name Mike Brown, the young man who was killed in Ferguson by the police. And all the kids that were there knew they could be the next Mike Brown. They knew that viscerally. But what I wanted to show them is they could also be the next freedom fighter. And so this passion for the world doesn't have to be this way, but we can only change the world if we confront a lot of the horrors of it, is kind of why I get up in the morning and why I'm foolish enough to keep doing what I'm doing.
Keep doing it and finding, and doing it by pulling things. Basically, I want to say, the support is you and Jenny and family and organizations like More Art. It is not well-funded. You are as you're producing, you're still trying to find the money, maybe even times afterwards to support it. And I'm inspired by that. I'm also challenged by that. I'm saddened by that. Yeah. But I'm very, very grateful for your vision and your practice, and for More Art to recognize that along with other artists. Yeah. And that's why it's so exciting to celebrate More Art's 20th anniversary. Yeah. I mean, that, this is a great, amazing team of folk with a little bit making our world better, our city better, by just stumbling on magical pieces that remind us. And so congratulations to the full team and board of More Art, and very much so to you, Dread.
Well, thanks. I mean, I think sort of you hit on two things that are important to recognize. One is that More Art takes risks. They do a lot of projects that other organizations wouldn't and won't touch. And that's really important. I mean, the Krzysztof Wadeszko or the Fred Wilson. I mean, Fred's an artist that, he's very recognized and stuff, but doing a public art, he hasn't done much public art because of the content of what he addresses in his work. There's the Shimon Atty piece that was, going, down the East River and showing images of it's just
during the UN Assembly too.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get the rights to do that?
Yeah, and it's a small, nimble organization that punches way above their weight, and I think that's really important to recognize. And so, I will make an early pitch. Those of you that have money in the room, give it to More Art tonight. Other people are going to ask, but the early ask, do that. But the other thing is this thing that you pointed to that I and artists like me are often trying to piece together funding and resources. That's an indictment of this world. I like my art. I'm old enough and arrogant enough to say I make good art. And it is... And I'm still fundraising after the fact for projects, and that, that's a problem. It shouldn't be that way, and the philanthropic circles should figure out ways to support artists that are taking risks, that are doing stuff that matters. And we happen to live in an interesting time where there's a lot of, just looking in the room, I'm seeing a lot of artists that are throwing their lives into making the world better. A lot of my friends and colleagues are here, and people, it's just, but the struggle and effort that people have to go through up against, and right now in a world that is lurching fairly quickly towards fascism in large parts of the planet, this work is precious, and artists shouldn't have to work so damn hard to be able to make work that is vital to humanity.
I agree. And
so,
I want to also add art administrators.
Yeah.
The art workers as well. And all of us.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about also all the organizers
Yeah.
that are on the front lines and the advocacy and activism that they do. And what's beautiful about More Art is their amazing way to see the humanity of us all and weave us all together so that we can actually be the beloved community where we are all belonging and accountable to each other.
And that's actually interesting. I was talking with somebody who I'm not going to out them, but they said, hey, one of the things I like about you and Michelle is that you actually make the art world worth being part of. And
that's so cool. That's really, really sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, because it's, the art world has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Michaela just nodded at us.
Okay, good. So we're done. The entertainment portion is over. Okay.
And so much better than a singular speech, right, y'all?
Wow, so that was an incredible talk. Thank you again, Dred Scott and Michelle Coffey. Just really excited and humbled to be up here following you up on stage. So I'm Dylan Gauthier. I'm the Associate Curator for More Art. And thank you. Yeah, I think this is a good segue, and that was a good point to end the talk on. I think I can jump right in and say that this is my extreme privilege to be here to welcome and announce a very special third and final award for the evening that I think will excite you all. This is a new initiative, and it's something that we've been working on, and we've kept it a little bit under wraps. That's why it's a secret award. So I would like to invite folks tonight, if you do want to film or take photos and want to post it online, it's totally fine. We're kind of breaking the seal tonight, and go ahead and post what you can on social media, #MoreArtNYC. As most of you know, over the past 20 years, More Art has been involved with artists working often around issues of housing justice, homelessness, economic inequality. We've collaborated with artists like Andre Serrano, Bill Pauhaida, Jennifer Dalton. We can applaud everybody who's here. Many of these folks are here in the room with us. Afri Kanani, Brendan Fernandez, and many others. And we've collaborated and tried to uplift and spotlight the work by folks working in communities that are most at risk of displacement and the impacts of gentrification. More Art started 20 years ago in Chelsea, and we started off working with Hudson Guild, actually, which is the not-for-profit cultural center in the NYCHA houses in Chelsea. Incredible institution over the years, provides a lot of services and a space for art and culture to exist there. And so we really started off doing projects in response to a changing neighborhood. And so tonight we are presenting a new award, which is also a return to our roots in Chelsea. We're going to call this our More Vision Award. And we're pleased to use this award to spotlight a different kind of creative partner, a partner of many in the art world, who are, in fact, the Related companies. We're here in Hudson Yards, so it feels fitting. They are the team behind Hudson Yards, the largest real estate development in the history of the United States. They also developed Liberty Square in Miami, City Place in Palm Beach, and the Grand LA, among other urban renovations, reimaginings. By fusing dazzling architecture with innovative fundraising strategies, the Related companies have altered the fabric of cities across the country, all while making bold moves in art and design in public spaces. And as architect Frank Gehry, many of you know, put it so perfectly, Related is not just building places. I'm sorry, they're not just building buildings, they're building places. So Related is now working to bring their unique brand of placemaking to Chelsea in the coming years, and we're delighted to announce a partnership with More Art that will make More Art the beneficiary and anchor tenant of one of their new spaces. So to accept this award for more vision in the public realm, on behalf of Related companies, I'd like to ask Ansor Bitselmak, Related's Vice President for Community Outreach, to come up to the stage and tell us more about Related's vision for the future of New York City. So thank you. And I think we have an award here for, thank you, Ansor. Great to see you. Yeah, thanks for being here.
So much.
We're really excited about this, and this is your award.
Oh, great.
So take that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, right? It's nice, nice, shiny. Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much to More Art for this wonderful award, for this recognition of your art organization's understanding, that bespeaks your art organization's understanding of how all of us here in the art world are collaborating for a better future for everyone. And that's not just artists, but also a better future for the residents of some of our most impacted communities. The former, you know, you've all heard of the Chelsea houses here, the Fulton and Elliott Chelsea houses, and we are working to improve the conditions of not only the residents, but all of those who live in Chelsea and all of New York City. Just let me finish, ma'am. Just as Hudson Yards replaced what was previously a mere train depot, Chelsea Yards will replace the Fulton and Elliott Chelsea houses with an income-diverse, income-exclusive, and fully supportive community of stores, business suites, and diverse resident options and art galleries. New Yorkers of all incomes will see consumption options expanded, activity options diversified, and the skyline granted a whole new smidgen of majesty as a new Hudson Yards takes shape in Chelsea. Thank you so much to More Art. And in fact, all of New York's preeminent arts institutions for being so agreeable to our plans in Chelsea, which is, after all, New York's original art district. Woo! I think this is the part that the hecklers in the audience might be waiting for. Social justice. Related has made contact with 29% of the 3,300 residents of the Fulton and Elliott houses, of whom 57% filled out our surveys in favor of what we like to call reconstruction. Those 500 residents are especially excited for the HVAC and dishwashers that'll be in every new unit. We've also spoken, ladies and gentlemen, we've also spoken, all of you, and I'm not, you know, this is for everybody, with a very diverse group of folks across Chelsea and New York City, artists, non-artists, residents of the houses, etc. And they love our ideas for New York's communal built environment. You're about to see with your own eyes that the good old embrace of New Yorkers for modernity and of the future, and the beautiful artistic videos that our excellent PR team here of Davram and Diffelstein have made. We're going to show you, would you like to say a word?
Yeah, thank you so much. We were so honored to partner with Related. We talked to some locals in Chelsea, and the results were incredible. We were so excited to connect with the people. We'd be happy.
We're going to try and sell the new development to the people here in Chelsea, sell them on the idea. I feel like it's going to work.
It's going to work because everybody wants a big new building full of rich people and to displace people whose families have been here for generations.
When you say it like that, it actually sounds really bad.
Yeah. It actually sounds like a bad thing. But we'll try not to say it like that to them if we can.
Yes, that's a
There's a plan to really change the neighborhood, to build a big...
If they're going to do it after 2 years, I'll be dead, so I don't care.
So if 2 years from now you'll be dead, you don't care.
Yeah, and I plan to live to 90, so 2 more years, I don't care what happens.
All right, can we play the second video? I think that might do better than...
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Roll.
There's the cursor there. It's circling around. This is not the video, but that is a cursor.
Yeah. It's a great cursor. Better than the video.
It isn't the video.
Sorry,
well,
folks.
we learned a lot by talking to the people of Chelsea. So how long have you lived here in Chelsea?
Since 05.
And what do you like most about the neighborhood?
The diversity.
How would you feel about a big development coming in and displacing a lot of Section 9 residents?
I would absolutely hate it.
Would you be excited about a giant skyscraper coming to the neighborhood that would block the sun?
Of course not.
So you wouldn't be excited about people blocking the sun? A new building?
Oh, I thought you said no. I would hate it.
There's a third video, right?
Yeah, there's more.
Okay,
There's more. What if I told you that a new development was going to come in this area that was going to block the sun? Would that be a good thing?
No.
No?
No.
What about for the rich people, though, who lived in the building and got to experience the sun? Would it be good for them?
It would probably be good for them.
Yeah. Think about how exciting that could be. They could basically take like a Hudson Yards type development, right? And they could just kind of flatten a whole city block.
No, I think that I don't like that. I don't like that. That's bad.
You wouldn't want to see Hudson Yards here in Chelsea?
No, they already have one.
What's your favorite part of New York City?
I guess the Upper West Side.
Upper West Side, where you live?
Yes.
What if they built Hudson Yards in the Upper West Side?
That would suck.
You could give a message to Related. What would it be?
Can I curse?
Sure.
No, let me stop.
Sounded like you said "fuck you."
Yes, I did.
Hey, everybody,
So
we're going to
those
take
are the people
a
of
1 minute
Chelsea.
break. Stretch your legs, do yoga, crystals, whatever you do.
What's up? What's up?
What the fuck are you guys thinking?
What?
What the fuck are you guys thinking?
What? You said we talked to people.
You're supposed to show them having a good, liking it.
No one liked it. We talked to a lot of people in
Doesn't
Chelsea.
matter. We hired you for a reason. It's not this.
Well, we're not gonna lie.
Gonna lie about it.
PR firm. What else are you gonna do?
I don't know. This is the visit we had. I don't know what to say.
What the people said. What do you want?
Guys, we can hear you out here.
Oh.
What was that?
We can hear you. You're on the mic.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, gosh. Yeah. So, okay. Obviously, I'm not from Related. No, and these are not PR people. I'm Andy from the Yes Men, and these are. Thank you. And these are the most excellent Good Liars. If you don't know their work, you look it up. Good Liars. They do amazing work, and they're going to make a whole video of which you just saw a couple of excerpts about this development, that the actual, real and true horrific plans that Related Companies has in store for Chelsea. They are working with NYCHA to demolish 2,065 units of Section 9 affordable housing that provides lifelong security to the people who need it. And they're going to replace those 2,065 units with 875 units of Section 8 housing, which is much less reliable. You'll hear more about that shortly. But there's a silver lining. They'll also be building 2,600 new apartments for rich people, plus stores and offices and all kinds of cool things, you know, just like Hudson Yards in Chelsea. And they did, in fact, do a survey. 29% of the eligible residents answered the survey. They really tried hard, I guess. That survey used the words rezoning and reconstruction, left out demolition. It didn't mention anything about Section 9 versus Section 8. And of the 29% they actually bothered to reach, 57% said they wanted it, and that's 16%. So I think 16% of the residents filled out a survey that said they wanted this rezoning and reconstruction. So when Related claims that a majority of the residents, and they do claim this, that the majority of the residents approve of their plans, I think the technical term for what they are is total and complete lying sacks of shit. So we'd like to show one final video from our amazing PR team, in which they show an alternative future that is called something like The Good Liars Fix Related. It features Jacqueline Lara, who's here tonight. She's a resident of the Chelsea houses. So you'll get to see her again. You just saw her, you'll see her again. All right.
So we're going to Hudson Yards later today. Is there a message you want us to give to Related while we're there?
Yeah, knock down that vessel and build mixed income, low income housing because we need it.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Jackie gave us a great idea. Replace the vessel with Section 9 housing.
All that's left to do now is break ground. Okay, so this is kind of a big moment. Related, the company who made Hudson Yards has kind of some PR problems. They siphoned $1.2 billion away from communities who needed it to build Hudson Yards. So in order to make up for that, they're going to replace the vessel, the Pineapple, with Section 9 public housing here, and we are breaking ground today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! So there's going to be affordable housing here. We're going to tear down the vessel, and this is the official groundbreaking right now. Ready to run?
Yep.
All right. Where's that for? It's for the groundbreaking. The plan is to replace the vessel with affordable housing.
With affordable housing, yeah.
Is it happening?
I mean, that's the plan.
Yeah.
I don't know if did y'all communicate with the office?
No.
You gotta go?
We gotta go.
We're getting kicked out? Related's kicking us out of here.
Yeah. Related kicks a lot of people out of a lot of places.
I guess that happens a lot, huh?
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. We will be... What?
I just need to say a few things. I'm actually here to tell you all this is all completely false. And this is very funny. This is all these artists, whatever. But I am the real public relations head of Related, and I came tonight to just tell you this is utterly false. And I do believe that none of us should be speaking for these communities of color that are less privileged and impacted by all this. And I think that, we need to reconsider all these kind of parodies, these artists, whatever. And, And I think that they have overwhelmingly, the people that do care about it, they know, what's happening. They know what's happening in the future. And I think, well, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, but it's just a lot, Well, I think that they do approve of what we're putting forth. That's what I'm trying to say. They do approve, and there will be less cheap houses, but they'll be next to bigger houses that are.
Thank you.
They're good. Yeah.
We have to move on with our gala, but I'm glad you took it and came, I guess. Thank you, guys. Okay, wow. All right, well, it's a little awkward ending, but I guess this is live, so things happen. Stuff kind of does happen, and things go off the rails sometimes. I'm going to try to bring us back here. Right. So anyway, this is the real part of the evening where we get to really award this award to the activists in the community that we're working with who really deserve it, who are putting themselves on the line and in order to hold on to and protect their homes, and also are doing this work across the country to protect and preserve public housing as a right and a need and a necessity. And so I want to gotta expel the. So our friends at the forefront of the struggle here, we have guests from Safe Section 9. I'm going to come to you. Oh, you're coming up. Come on up. Come on up. I was going to come to you. All right. Ramona Ferreira, who is the founder of Safe Section 9 and the tireless organizer behind that effort, along with Jackie Lara, thank you, who you met in the video, who's a resident of Chelsea Houses. I'm giving you our award tonight, and I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your work. So come up here. Thank you. Thanks, Ramona.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So my grandmother came to this country illegally. She was the first person to leave our village in the Dominican Republic, which continues to be single road and beautiful and perfect. And she was a widow and then married someone that got to hit her once. And she went back home to my great-grandmother's house with my mom and decided that she would never be hit again. And this is 1957. She worked as a seamstress her entire life here in America and had to wait about 15 years to be able to go back home and see my mom and her mother, Ramona. And when she finally retired, she put in for public housing. And it was the first time that she was able to just be and exhale. And she saw it as a reward for the work that she had done. Because of public housing, I was able to make it all the way to Harvard, which is really not that big a deal. My nephew decided he wants to go to Hunter instead. So CUNY all the way. But it was a place where every single child in my family has been bathed in our kitchen sink. And that includes my dog, my fur baby. So when I found out that public housing was being privatized and demolished at a super aggressive rate, I decided to launch Safe Section 9. And the experience that I had working for the FBI, the Department of Defense, the Hawaii State Capitol, and other like fancy Western stuff, really allows me to connect with people like Jackie and the other tenants from public housing here tonight, and to speak about the safety, the beauty, and the resilience of our community. What we're able to do with so little is what many people never get to experience in their homes. And the threat facing Fulton Elliott Chelsea of demolition is absolutely debilitating at times. So we are so grateful to More Arts and to everyone for allowing us to take up space and to share the love that we feel for our community. And we hope that you'll join the fight with us and bring whatever you can to our tables.
Hi, guys. My name is Jacqueline Lara, and I'm from Fulton Houses. I came from homelessness. I was outside with my children. We would sleep in the train stations or in a movie theater just to get that air conditioner because these shelters are just as horrible. And in 2002, I was called for public housing, and I never thought in my life, I thought that was condos or something. I don't even know what it was, but I just know it was the most beautiful thing, a home, and I just kissed that ground and just find myself leaving out of there in a body bag because that's how beautiful and that's how appreciative I feel about Fulton and our neighborhood. And, you know, it just recently, everybody's outside playing Spanish music, hip hop, whatever. Everybody's having barbecue over the Memorial Weekend. And that's what community is all about in our neighborhood. And we all know each other. We all look out for each other's kids. And we're going to continue this fight. I mean, it's a beast that we're fighting against. But, we'll just chop him up into little pieces, relate it. But listen, we have some elected officials that are proving this, and they don't want to listen to the real residents, the truthful ones. I mean, why is it so hard that when you're trying to fight an honest fight, it's the hardest fight? You know what I'm saying? I mean, people get away with every day with lies and corruption, and we're here trying to tell everybody that we don't want demolition, we want to save our homes, and I would like to pass it to my kids. I mean, my kids will never afford an apartment in Manhattan, and unfortunately, they will have to leave somewhere else, and I want them close by, and I want my grandchildren with me, and I want to see them get raised, This is what Latinos do, We take care of our generations. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to Major Eric Adams, that he's approving this demolition. Congress, Jerry Nadler, Senator Brad Holman Siegel, Assembly Member Tony Simone, Borough President Mark Levine, and, Eric Botcha, my cutie boy. But yes, these are the ones that are approving this demolition, and they're not listening to the residents. So maybe you guys got some kind of connection. Or, slap them up, something, do something. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you. So a couple last things here. So one last time I want to thank the Good Liars, the Yes Men, Save Section 9, Jackie Laura, Ramona Ferraya, Renee Keats back there. We have, you're all amazing. And we love the work you do, and we also are in awe of the work that brings in art and culture to the fight. And so we're grateful to be there with you. And you can find out more about Save Section 9, go to savesection9.org. Learn about their work to safeguard and expand public housing, because there should be more of it, not less, right? And we'll be releasing some more videos, as they alluded to, with Yes Men and the Good Liars over the coming year, along with some really exciting projects. And of course, we're not taking any money from Related. So, but we are still going to do some fantastic things here, and we're going to do some fantastic things. So we have projects presenting work by Noah Fisher, Coco Fusco, the Yes Men, the Good Liars, Zeno Duo, and all focusing on intersections between housing justice, immigration, and inequality in the city. So these are issues that have been at the heart of More Arts work over the past 2 decades. We will be unveiling Noah's project, New York 2044, which is a graphic novel and speculative newspaper that imagines the future of the city that we want and so desperately need this year at a number of public events, and distributing these as well as online on our brand new website, which nobody mentioned yet, but it's very sexy and lovely. So please stay tuned and follow us. And I'd like to call up Michaela Martigani to close out the evening for us here. So come back up here, Michaela. Thank you.
deserve the right to live in housing that is according to our income in the face of systemic racism. So we say, please consider that, because without us, this city would be doomed. You wouldn't be able to go out and do what you do to make this city run. So when NYCHA and Relator says get back, we say fight back.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's now my moment to actually give thanks to the people who make all this possible. And that's our powerful team. To start with Shona, who is up there in the booth, queuing everything up beautifully. Dylan, who you've seen on the stage quite a bit. Madison, I think she's getting things ready. Mihaela, Yasmin, who's organizing everything tonight. Brandy, over there, I see you. And Mariano, also somewhere, I can't see everyone. I can't even tell you how much I learn from each of you every day. And I really thank you for making More Art what it is. And thank you also to our mighty board. You've met Mona and Christopher, Jeffrey, Chiseche, Johanna, Kate, James, and Lynn, who is actually recovering from surgery, and she's with us in spirit tonight. And our board emeritus, Susanna and John, and all our partners and sponsors for the night, all of them are listed in the program. And to close the night, I thought I would talk to you about why we do what we do, why we're inspired, why it is important, trace some of the incredible projects we worked on through the years, and then our vision for the future of socially engaged public art. But then I thought that you have seen and heard enough tonight, and so I'll keep it brief and I'll get straight to the essence of it. As I was listening to Dred and Michelle and witnessing the topsy-turvy whirlwind created by the Yes Men and the Good Liars, I was thinking of the difference between those who hope and those who dream, because often the two are confused. People say that hope is essential. It's the last thing to die. Especially when things get hard, we all hope for a better life, better health, a better world, a better future. This is how we are all wired. If we are alive, we hope. If we stop hoping, we die. But when I look at these artists and at all the artists we've worked with in the past 20 years, young and old, so many of whom are here tonight with us, and the artists we're working with now, as Dylan mentioned, besides the Yes Men and Good Liars, Coco Fusco and Xenodu and Noah Fisher, and then next year, Stephanie Dinkins and Ala Michelson in 2026. When I look at them, I see more than hope. They're not only hopeful, they're dreamers. And they're not stopping at hope, but they're dreaming up a new world, a kinder, more equitable, more empathetic world. It's a world that we can certainly subscribe to, but it's not easy to be a dreamer. It's not a linear path, it's messy, it can be painful and frustrating, but these artists look at the future and see a blank canvas to be filled with ideas and colors, all the colors of the rainbow. And for that, they're often judged or misjudged. Some people even look down on them and call them foolish or naive. And maybe they are fools. Maybe we need a little madness to be able to envision a whole new world, to dream such a big, new, radical dream for a world that truly represents all of us in our diversity and shared humanity through art, kindness, awareness, and why not, love. But they surely can't do it alone, can they? So should we follow these dreamers? Theirs, as I said, it's not the easy road. It's unpredictable, uncharted, potentially unsafe. We don't know where it will lead us. It's going to be a long process for sure, although each step can bring its own rewards. We do not need to achieve it all to start feeling the benefits. And honestly, who else could dream of a world that's not just black and white, that's not just binary, that's rich in creativity, touches all our senses, fosters a sense of belonging for everyone, and contains all the shades and nuances and flaws that make us human, that make us connect, that make us feel alive? I think we need them. So here's to the artists, and here is to all the rebels who dare to dream. And so now, if you can, help them dream this new world into actual reality by donating what you can. So anyone, please take out your phones and text to donate or use the QR code. They're everywhere. And donate what you're able to. You know, normally our events are always free, but this one is a fundraiser. So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Don't worry, I'm the last one on stage tonight. My name's Yasmin. I'm the development coordinator. I wasn't going to say anything special, but I've only been with More Art to work on this project, and it's been such a wonderful experience to get to know an organization and be introduced to a community of artists and dreamers and thinkers that really align with myself. So I've really appreciated that, and I hope that you take away from this evening an opportunity to dream in your communities. For dinner, we're going to head through the way we came down this hallway, across the hall to the Hidden Leaf. But if you're not joining us for dinner, feel free to mingle in this space for about 15-ish more minutes. Sorry, y'all, that's the nature. Please feel free to ask me any questions. We have a photographer, so, you know, get your photo taken. Everyone looks beautiful tonight. But thank you so, so much for coming to support us tonight. And cheers to More Art.